Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eric from Autocatalytica, just doing a little interview for Antichrist magazine. So, just a little bit about our band name. Autocatalytica came from when I was reading this book on Gestalt therapy when I was like 18 or so. And there's this concept of an autocatalytic reaction, which is, if I understand it right, which I probably don't, a chemical reaction where the catalyst for the reaction is itself. So I kind of extrapolated that and took it to mean a self-sustaining entity of creation, more or less. And I figured it just could use one more letter in there, so thus Autocatalytica. So we have a new album called Power Clashing Maximalism that's coming out on October 16th. And yeah, it kind of started out as me not knowing exactly what I wanted to do with this band after I moved home to Canada from Brooklyn in 2015. I was pretty sure that I didn't want to start a metal band from the ground up when I'm pushing 30. So I kind of figured that I wanted to get as many different people involved in it as I could. The last few records I had made had definitely taken a toll on my mental health because I had done just about everything I could do by myself. And especially when it comes to the vocals, I just felt like I didn't have a objective perspective on how things were turning out because I was just responsible for everything. So that led me in a more positive light to incorporate a lot of different collaborators on this record, which I think turned out to be a really good idea. And yeah, I think it kind of ended up being kind of like a broken social scene of metal type thing, or whatever other kind of supergroup metaphor you choose for that. As far as the lyrics go for Power Clashing Maximalism, a lot of the lyrical stuff I deal with is to do with themes of like meditation. I've been on a couple meditation retreats that were definitely life-changing every single time. That's kind of like a loose overarching theme for everything. And then also generally just the state of our political system and how everything is kind of crumbling, as I'm sure no one is surprised to know. Other stuff is basically on Trash Serum, one of the songs, talking about how you can read behind what people are saying in their explicit words and try to divine what their emotions or their intentions are, and how that can get us all into a little bit of trouble. The song Zippler is about the concept of metaphorical truth, which is, if you think of the analogy of always treat a gun as if it's loaded, even though it's not always loaded, that will generally give you better results if you don't want to shoot your friends and family. And what else? That's about it for lyrical concepts. Oh yes, and also one where we talk about how we really enshrine our individualism almost to a fault. Of course, individual liberty is a great value to have, but I think that there's a limit to the usefulness of this, and we are certainly starting to see that especially in our Western society right now. Okay, so about the cover art for Power Clashing Maximalism. On our last record, Vicissitudes, my girlfriend Rachel Lindover had done this amazing piece that is super intricate, super trippy. It doesn't look like anything except for like a mind-melted DMT gorilla or something. And that took quite a long time, as it totally makes sense because it's really intricate and amazing. And for this one, I do a little bit of art stuff myself, and I kind of started sketching some stuff out and quickly realized that I was not going to be able to even come close to approaching the quality of her artwork. So instead of waiting for her to construct something from scratch, I decided to scan a bunch of her pencil drawings that she's done over the years and put them into Photoshop and basically morph them into an even more insane monstrosity, and that's more or less what you've got now as the final artwork. So is it important to have a label deal for a band? I could certainly see a lot of benefits to that. I've never had one myself. I think it's way different than it used to be. As far as I understand, labels generally offered a lot more support to up-and-coming artists and kind of, led them as lost leaders for a little bit and let them, kind of grow and invest in them as a future profit as opposed to being fully formed entities. And the way I kind of understand it now is you more or less have to have all your shit together before you are approached by a label. that will, kind of smooth things over, and it's more of a partnership rather than them giving you an environment to grow in. But I'm totally open to being totally wrong about that, and if a good label deal came along, I'd totally take it. Okay, so about postponed gigs, we're not a live band right now, seeing as I didn't want to do anything, as I kind of mentioned earlier, pushing 30, starting a live band, as a metal band especially, from the ground up, not really my idea of a good time right now, but, I would totally take a crazy tour if it was, me opening for Devin Townsend or Meshuggah or something, but that's clearly a pipe dream, so not expecting that to happen anytime soon. Oh yeah. So this one is about some epic fail moments during live performance. Fortunately, other than losing my voice at the start of the first tour we ever went on and not getting it back for the first 3 shows, my only other story that I can really think of that's amazing was from another band that we played with, and they were called Pink Mass, and they're just like awesome hardcore punk guys that all dress up in like really gruesome BDSM gimp gear and stuff. It looks visually horrifying and amazing, and the main gimmick is that I believe the guitarist or bassist has this like super long black dildo with nails coming out of it and a little hook at the end that is chained to the singer's face mask, which is like this big black gimp thing, which is amazing visually, but I'm sure you could anticipate would create a couple just logistical concerns as far as movement around the stage. And the guitarist was also playing with a full stack, so before the band even started playing their first song, the singer started running around and somehow got his dildo face chain link stuck around the half stack, which promptly crumbled and fell directly onto the bass player, and just creating total chaos and laughter amongst a little bit of concern, which once people figured out that they were okay. But that was probably the funniest thing I've seen at a local band show ever. Recent heavy music that's impressed me. So I honestly don't listen to that much metal. The new Deftones record came out today. Sounds pretty cool. I'm into that. I really like the Protest the Hero record that came out. Those guys have been favorites of mine for ever since their inception. But my favorite record this year so far has definitely been by this guy Moses Sumney. He's got this double album called Grey, which is just like amazing arrangements, crazy vocal layers. He's the shit. You should definitely check him out. I don't care if it's not metal. How I think COVID will affect the metal scene. Well, I don't see anything good coming of it right now. Maybe people's chops are gonna get up, if anyone can get up the inspiration to be practicing a lot. Maybe everyone's gonna be tighter on their lonesome, lots of solo projects, but yeah, not a lot of positivity coming from that question. And plans for the near future. We don't really have any plans. I'd be down to make another record. My drummer for this past record, Neil Roy, got exported a couple of years ago back to India, so I don't have anyone in my band. It's just me. I'd love to, if there was the right person, I'd be down to wrangle a new drummer and put them through the ringer like I do most drummers. But right now, the future is up in the air. Thanks so much. This was Eric from Autocatalytica. You can buy our new record, Power Clashing Maximalism, at autocatalytica.bandcamp.com.